Hello everyone, it's Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Welcome back to my channel. And this is my first Atlas Stationers package of 2024. Who knows how many more there will be, but I am very excited for this unboxing. Let's get started. So this was ordered on January 10th, pulled live on TikTok that very same day, and then shipped out on January 11th, and it arrived today, January 23rd. So 12 days from Chicago to Canada, which isn't bad, and there were no customs charges on this. So I always like to update anyone who is interested in ordering from the US to Canada. Customs charges, I feel, depend really on the company, but also what I have heard is that Atlas is now incorporating customs charges into their pricing when looking at shipping, but more details can be found on Atlas Stationers. I also want to say that this was purchased with the help of those who use my affiliate link, so thank you very, very much. If you want to save 10% at Atlas Stationers, please use the affiliate link down below or the code Karina10. It is valid on certain brands only. All right, so let's go ahead and unbox. And we have this postcard here that says Burr. Oh, that is cute. Is that an Esterbrook? Or I'm not sure what pen that is, but I've got ink. And this is one of the things that I try not to order ink during winter because it can freeze on you. So let's not do that. And then the free product that you get when you get your order pulled from TikTok this week was, I guess, Hollywood or Brendan sitting at a bench feeding a whole bunch of pigeons. So that will be going into my pen and ink journal. So let's pull this out. So the item I have purchased comes in a white sleeve, and then you have the Waterman box. This was a brand that I did not have on my radar until about a month or so ago, and I watched a whole bunch of reviews and decided I really needed to get one. So, oh wow. It's so classic looking. This is the Waterman Carene. And I've never owned a Waterman before, but the price for this gold nib pen was just too good to pass up. But also I feel like it's one of those pens that is just so classic, like a I say Lamy 2000, but a Lamy 2000's been around for a while, but you know, like a Parker or 51 or anything like that. And I felt like having a Waterman, if I was going to have a Waterman in my collection, it should be the Carene. So put this down here. What comes in here? So you've got the Waterman Paris. It comes with the cartridge, and then you have the warranty information here, and then you have the pen. Oh my goodness, look at that. It looks so just classic is all I can say. It is a classic. Look at the detailing on the clip. You've got the W there for the Waterman. It's actually looks like a very good functional clip. That is very springy. That's lovely. And then it is well, this part is a cigar shape, and this one actually looks different. You don't have your typical cigar shape here. And then you have the band on the cap that says Waterman France. And it's a snap cap. I immediately went to go and twist it, but it is a snap cap to reveal the inlaid nib. And so that is an 18 karat inlaid nib, and I got it in a fine. And you can see there's an F there, but that's also the hole where the ink will go. And then if we're twisting this here, you also get the converter with that as well. So first impressions, just by looking at it, what a classy looking pen. Fits in the hand quite well. Do I want to post it? I'm almost afraid to post it, but actually that posts really, really deeply, about that much into the pen. So that posts really deeply, really securely, and actually doesn't back weight the pen at all. This is one of those pens that I feel like I would actually post. I mean, I think I'd be happy either way, but I think it just looks so great posted. This is absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and compare these to other pens in my collection, and I'll also compare it to a couple of pens in my husband's collection, and then we'll go ahead and weigh it and then do a writing sample. All right, so here we have the Waterman Carene, making sure that we have enough room for all of the other pens. And then we have my Esterbrook Esty, which I compare basically any new pen to. Then we have my Lamy 2000, the Pelican M800, and a Sailor Pro Gear Slim. And then two of my husband's pens. He has the Pilot Metropolitan, as well as a Lamy All-Star. I don't own these two pens, but I thought, and I've also had comments about people wanting to see these compared to other pens that aren't necessarily these ones, so I'm going to try and include the Lamy All-Star and the Pilot Metropolitan in future reviews. So excuse me. So just looking at the length of the pen, it looks like it's just a little bit longer than the Lamy 2000 and the Pelican M800, and the Esterbrook Esty does look like it is longer. It does look narrower than the Esterbrook Esty, but it looks like it might be a little bit in line with the Lamy 2000 and maybe slightly narrower than the Pelican M800. It's definitely longer than the Sailor Pro Gear Slim, and the Carene looks like it's almost the same, if not slightly longer than the Pilot Metropolitan, but definitely wider in the overall body. And then the Lamy 2000 is definitely a wider pen, but the length of it is about the same as the Carene. So let's look at these uncapped, and just to say, this is satisfying. So there are all of the pens uncapped, and you can see that the Esterbrook Esty is just a hair longer than the Carene. But in terms of the grip section, they look very, very similar, which is why when I first held the Carene, it was already very comfortable. I like a slightly wider grip section. Anything less or narrower than 10 millimeters is too narrow for me, and I actually find this not too bad at all. And then comparing it to the Lamy 2000, which has the hooded nib, which I also find very comfortable in terms of the way that the grip section is formatted and designed. I can see the similarities between the two. And then the Pelican M800, it definitely looks similar in terms of the width of the grip section. It's hard to compare the nibs because obviously the inlaid nib looks very different than a regular Jowo number 6 nib, or even the 18 karat on the Pelican M800. But even the size of, for example, these smaller nibs, looking at it compared to the Carene, it's hard to compare because it is an inlaid nib, and I think this is my first, is it my first? No, I've had the Pilot E95S. But anyway, in terms of the way that it looks uncapped, the length of it does look very comfortable in terms of comparing it to the Esty, the Lamy 2000, and the Pelican M800. And for those who are wondering about the length compared to the Metropolitan and the Lamy All-Star, the Lamy All-Star is definitely the longest and the biggest out of this bunch. But the grip section compared to the Metropolitan has a very narrow grip section, which it doesn't work for me. Plus there's a big step from the body to the grip, whereas the grip section of the Carene is very smooth going from the grip to the body. So let's go ahead and weigh this pen. So this pen capped weighs 34 grams, and then uncapped, if it will stay, is 24 grams. So that would make about 13 or 11, sorry, it's 11 grams for the cap. So it's actually a good weighty pen. And then even with posting it, it's very evenly weighted. So adding the cap posted to the back actually doesn't back weight it. I find that very, very comfortable, which is strange for me because I don't normally post my pens. But for anybody who is a poster, this is very, very comfortable. So let's go ahead and ink this up. So I've decided to ink this up today with Tatcha Ume Murasaki because, well, it kind of looks like it should match, but we will see. We will see. So getting used to a snap cap here, which I don't normally. Oh gosh, there's ink. Hold on. Okay, so we have, oh my gosh, I'm nervous. Have the Waterman. That is smooth. Carene in amber, and And this has an 18 karat fine nib. Wow, that is smooth. The nib is so smooth. Those are Lucy's footsteps. Gosh, and it's wet as well. Now, does it have a little bit of flex? Not really. I feel like it's a bit of a stiffer nib. It's not bouncy, but how does it do with reverse writing? Oh gosh, no, it feels awful with reverse writing, so I don't recommend it. No, thank you. And then with just some quick scribbles here, it keeps up very, very well. And then in terms of wetness, it looks very, very wet. Oh, I love this so much. So what I write here is I would purchased from Atlas on January 10th, 2024. Wow. So far, great first impression. So my first impressions of the Waterman Carene in Amber. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I absolutely love it. It's such a classic looking pen. Apologies for the ink stains, but it is such a classic looking pen. I love the snap cap. Like, that is extremely satisfying. I love the look of the inlaid nib, and that nib is very smooth, a little stiff, but very smooth, very wet writing nib. And then in terms of comfort in the hand, posted, very comfortable. And I think I would actually write with this posted, but again, if you don't like to post your pens, it's still very comfortable unposted. And then the transition from the body to the grip is actually very smooth. And let me just zoom in here. As you can see, the transition from the grip to the body is actually quite smooth. There is that little bit of a lip that is sticking out there. I feel like it's very similar to what you would find on the Lamy 2000 when it comes to the snap cap, and that's what helps the cap lock in place. Now, where I place my fingers, it does rest on top of that, but I don't really notice that too much. But for those who are sensitive to that, just be aware that that is there. So my first impressions are, I love this, and I'm so excited to be able to use this. I'm going to be inking this up for the month of February. And should I use this as my 5-year journal pen? Probably. We'll see. All right, but that is it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions regarding this pen, please let me know, and let me know if you've ever experienced any Waterman pens. My daughter actually has a Waterman Allure, which was given to her by my dad, and it's a great little starter pen as well. So I've had very little experience with Waterman pens, but from my experience, I am a fan. All right, thank you all so much for watching, and have yourselves a great day.